So this module is going to talk about Latin-influenced rhythms. There's a whole big umbrella called Latin music that has a variety of styles and a variety of very unique rhythms associated with it, particularly because so much of that music is driven by dance. We're going to look particularly at two rhythms that have found their way into the American zeitgeist, as it were, and are heavily present. Specifically, we're going to look at the Bossa Nova rhythm, and then we're going to look at the clave beat. So these are two that have really gained a lot of presence in popular music across the world. So starting first with the Bossa Nova beat. So Bossa Nova beat has a very particular rhythm that usually shows up in the guitar, sometimes in some of the upper melody instruments, and it looks like this. And then this just repeats over and over again. So this goes like this. Ba, 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 da, 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 do, 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 etc., etc. As you can hear, the thing that is most unique about this is this particular section right here. So there are a few variations that tend to show up in this. The first is that we take this particular rhythm that I just circled in green and we figure out how to just repeat it. And so it often will look like this or some other version of it. So this goes ba 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 da da ba ba da da ba ba da ba. Or sometimes people, and I can just do this in yellow, will do just this part right here. So you get ba 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 ba, or they might add this little piece here. So you get ba 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 ba. But there are all sorts of versions, but as you can see, it's really that part in green that really distinguishes this bossa nova sound. So the version that we're going to hear is, we're going to listen to The Girl from Ipanema, which really was one of the first songs that really established this particular style. You hear the rhythm mostly in the guitar, but and it's also not terribly consistent. It's a little bit improvised, but you can get the key of it there. Here we go.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça. Ela, menina que vem, que passa, doce balanço, caminho do mar. Moça do corpo dourado, do sol de Ipanema, o seu balançado é mais que poema, é a coisa mais linda que eu já vi passar.
So that's the gist of it, and it works really quite straightforward. The other part that's worth noting in this is that you usually do have a bass line that looks something like this. And it can either go root fifth, or root fifth, you know, so dum da dum da dum da dum, or dum da dum da dum da dum, right? Dum da dum da dum, whatever you're quite needing there. And it can work that way. But that's a pretty common feature no matter what version. And if you go back and listen to this recording, you'll be able to hear it in there. Okay, so now for the clave rhythm. Clave rhythm is named after an instrument that is called the clave, and it's basically two sticks that you hit together and they get a really bright, piercing sound. And related to this is a very specific rhythm that belongs to the clave sound, and it looks like this. And there'll always be some slight variation with how this particular one sounds. But this is really what you have. So ba 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 sometimes those will get pushed a little bit forward, sometimes they'll get pushed a little back. Just a little bit is a version you'll often hear. But this is the Clave Rhythm, and it shows up in so much music. The most recent example that I can think of is one from In the Heights, the musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton. In the Heights recently became an HBO Max, a movie musical. It's on HBO Max. You can watch it whenever you want to. But he uses this rhythm throughout, particularly because there's such a connection to the Latin islands, the Latin American islands in this. So it makes a lot of sense. I'm just going to play a little bit of the trailer because that's where you really hear it, and you can hear how it gets integrated throughout the orchestra.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Washington Heights. Say, so it doesn't disappear. Washington Heights! Lights up on Washington Heights, at the break of day, we go. And I got this little punk, I gotta chase away. Pop the great at the crack and ball, sing while I'm way down the awning. Hey, good morning.
So there it is. You can hear it gets pulled up into the orchestra. If you watch this, you can see that even the cuts are timed to that clave rhythm. It is a really significant beat throughout. Now the clave evolved and was used by an artist named Bo Diddley to create what's called the Bo Diddley beat. This shows up in some of the early rock music. And is another just great example of ways that it gets integrated. So here we go. There you go. So they can hear that. That's just a guy playing it. But you can find recordings of this. So this music really has found its way across a lot of different styles of music. Go listen to some recordings. Maybe don't just listen to music that was obviously influenced by Latin artists. See if you can find it in some other places as well. Have fun.